Hello everyone and welcome back to the English Nest. Today we are going to learn three very important phrasal verbs in English. These phrasal verbs are act on, act out, and act up. These expressions are very common in daily English conversations, movies, books, schools, offices, and even in professional communication. If you truly want to speak English naturally and confidently, you must understand how native speakers use these phrasal verbs in real situations. In today's lecture, we will discuss the meaning of each phrasal verb, where it is used, how it changes the meaning of the word act, common sentence structures, real-life examples, and practical speaking situations. By the end of this lesson, you will easily understand the difference between act on, act out, and act up, and you will be able to use them correctly in your spoken and written English. So let us begin today's powerful English lesson. First, let us understand the base word act. The word act is a verb. It generally means to do something, behave in a certain way, perform, or take action. But when we add different prepositions or particles after the word act, the meaning changes completely. That is why phrasal verbs are extremely important in English. Now let us move to our first phrasal verb. Act on. The phrasal verb act on means to take action because of something. It means to do something after receiving information, advice, instructions, feelings, ideas, or emotions. In simple words, when you do something based on a suggestion, plan, information, or feeling, you act on it. This phrasal verb is commonly used in offices, education, business, relationships, and everyday conversations. Structure of act on. Act on plus noun. Act on plus advice. Act on plus information. Act on plus idea. Act on plus feeling. Act on plus decision. Now let us understand this with detailed explanation. When someone gives you advice and you follow that advice, you act on the advice. When you receive important information and take action because of it, you act on the information. When you have an idea and start working according to that idea, you act on the idea. This phrasal verb often shows action after thinking or receiving guidance. For example, imagine your teacher tells you to improve your pronunciation by practicing daily. If you start practicing every day, you acted on your teacher's advice. Now let us understand the different situations where act on is commonly used. Use number 1. Acting on advice. People often use this phrasal verb when talking about suggestions or guidance. Example: she acted on her doctor's advice and started exercising regularly. This means the doctor advised her, and she followed the advice. Use number 2. Acting on information. Sometimes people receive information and quickly take action. Example: the police acted on the information immediately. This means the police received information and took action because of it. Use number 3. Acting on feelings. Sometimes emotions influence decisions. Example: he acted on his anger and said many rude things. This means his anger controlled his actions. Use number 4. Acting on plans or ideas. Example: the company acted on the manager's idea and improved sales. This means the company accepted the idea and implemented it. Now let us look at 5 powerful examples of act on. Example 1. I acted on my teacher's advice and improved my English speaking skills. Example 2. The government acted on the public complaints very quickly. Example 3. She acted on her instincts and avoided danger. Example 4. The company acted on customer feedback to improve its products. Example 5. He never acts on good opportunities because he is afraid of failure. Now let us discuss some speaking tips for using act on naturally. Native speakers often use act on in professional and serious conversations. It sounds more formal and intelligent than simply saying do something. For example, instead of saying, I followed his advice, you can say, I acted on his advice. This sounds more fluent and advanced. Now let us move to our second phrasal verb. Act out. Act out has more than one meaning in English. This is why many English learners become confused. But today we will understand every important meaning in a simple way. The first meaning of act out is to express feelings or emotions through behavior instead of words. The second meaning is to perform or dramatize something. The third meaning is to behave badly because of emotional stress or frustration. Let us understand each meaning carefully. Meaning number 1. To express emotions through behavior. Sometimes people are angry, stressed, upset, or emotionally disturbed, but instead of talking about their feelings, they show them through actions. This is called acting out. Children often act out when they are upset or want attention. Example: the child acted out because he felt ignored. This means the child behaved badly to express emotional pain. Meaning number 2. To perform or dramatize. Teachers, actors, and students often act out scenes or stories. Example: the students acted out a scene from the play. This means they performed the scene physically. Meaning number 3. To misbehave or behave emotionally. Teenagers sometimes act out because of pressure or frustration. Example: after his parents divorced, he started acting out in school. This means he began behaving badly because of emotional problems. Now let us understand common situations where act out is used. Situation 1. Children misbehaving. Parents and teachers commonly use this expression. Example: the kids were acting out during the class. Situation 2. Performing stories or scenes. Drama teachers use this expression frequently. Example: the actors acted out the historical event beautifully. Situation 3. Emotional frustration. People may act out after stress or emotional trauma. Example: she acted out her frustration by shouting at everyone. Now let us look at 5 examples of act out. Example 1. The child acted out because he wanted attention from his parents. Example 2. The students acted out the story in front of the class. Example 3. He started acting out after losing his job. Example 4. The little girl acted out her favorite movie scene. Example 5. Teenagers sometimes act out when they feel misunderstood. Now let us discuss an important speaking point. Act out often carries an emotional meaning. It usually suggests emotional expression through behavior. That behavior may be positive, dramatic, or negative depending on the situation. For example, the actors acted out the scene. This is positive. But the boy acted out in class. This usually means bad behavior. So context is extremely important. Now let us move to our third phrasal verb. Act up. Act up means to behave badly, not function properly, or create problems. This phrasal verb is commonly used for people, machines, body parts, children, and technology. This expression is extremely common in spoken English. Let us understand its meanings carefully. Meaning number 1. To behave badly. Children, students, or even adults can act up when they misbehave. Example: the students acted up when the teacher left the classroom. This means they behaved badly. Meaning number 2. To stop functioning properly. Machines and devices can also act up. Example: my computer is acting up again. This means the computer is not working properly. Meaning number 3. To cause physical discomfort. Body parts can act up when they hurt or create problems. Example: my knee acts up during winter. This means the knee becomes painful or problematic. Now let us understand the common situations where act up is used. Situation 1. Children creating trouble. Parents often say, my son has been acting up lately. This means the child is misbehaving. Situation 2. Technology problems. People frequently use this for phones, laptops, internet, and machines. Example: the internet is acting up today. Situation 3. Health problems. Example: her back acts up whenever she lifts heavy things. Now let us look at 5 examples of act up. Example 1. The children started acting up during the meeting. Example 2. My phone keeps acting up whenever I open this app. Example 3. His old knee injury acts up in cold weather. Example 4. The students acted up after the principal left. Example 5. The washing machine is acting up again. Now let us deeply compare these three phrasal verbs because many learners mix them up. Act on means to take action because of something. Act out means to express emotions or perform dramatically. Act up means to misbehave or malfunction. Let us compare them with simple examples. Example with act on. She acted on the doctor's advice. This means she followed the advice. Example with act out. The child acted out his frustration. This means he expressed frustration through behavior. Example with act up. The child acted up in school. This means he behaved badly. Now let us practice understanding through real-life speaking situations. Situation 1. Office environment. The manager gave suggestions to improve productivity. The team acted on those suggestions immediately. Here we use act on because the team took action based on advice. Situation 2. School environment. The students acted out a scene from Shakespeare's play. Here we use act out because they performed dramatically. Situation 3. Classroom discipline. The children started acting up when the teacher went outside. Here we use act up because the children misbehaved. Now let us discuss some common mistakes English learners make. Mistake number 1. Using act up instead of act out. Wrong. The actors acted up the movie scene. Correct. The actors acted out the movie scene. Because performance requires act out. Mistake number 2. Using act on for emotions. Wrong. He acted on angrily. Correct. He acted on his anger. Or, he acted out his anger. Mistake number 3. Using act up for machines incorrectly. Wrong. My laptop acted out yesterday. Correct. My laptop acted up yesterday. Because machines malfunction, not act out. Now let us learn some advanced usage for fluent English speaking. Native English speakers often use these phrasal verbs naturally in conversations. For example, you should act on that opportunity before it disappears. He is acting out because he feels lonely. My car has been acting up lately. Using these naturally makes your English sound advanced and fluent. Now let us do a quick revision. Act on means to take action based on advice, information, feelings, or ideas. Act out means to express emotions through actions or to perform dramatically. Act up means to misbehave or malfunction. Now let us go deeper into conversation practice because spoken practice helps you remember phrasal verbs better. Conversation 1. Aisha. I started exercising regularly. Sarah. That is great. Did someone suggest it to you? Aisha. Yes. I acted on my doctor's advice. Conversation 2. Teacher. Why is Ahmed behaving badly these days? Parent. He is acting out because he is stressed about exams. Conversation 3. Ali. Why are you late? Usman. My bike acted up on the way to work. These examples show how naturally these phrasal verbs fit into everyday English. Now let us discuss pronunciation tips for these phrasal verbs. Act on. The T sound connects smoothly with on. Actin. Act out. The T connects with out. Act out. Act up. The T connects with up. Act up. Practicing connected speech helps your English sound natural and fluent. Now let us explore emotional understanding behind these phrasal verbs. Act on usually shows positive action or response. Act out often shows emotional expression. Act up usually suggests trouble, problems, or bad behavior. Understanding emotional tone is important for fluent communication. Now let us take some more advanced examples. Advanced example for act on. The company acted on market research and launched a successful product. Advanced example for act out. Many children act out emotionally when they do not receive enough attention. Advanced example for act up. My allergies always act up during spring season. Now let us understand how these phrasal verbs appear in movies and daily conversations. In movies, parents often say, "Why are you acting up today?" Teachers may say, "The students acted out the entire story." Business people may say, "We need to act on customer feedback immediately." If you watch English movies and series carefully, you will hear these expressions very often. Now let us practice a small speaking exercise. Repeat after me. I acted on good advice. The child acted out his emotions. My computer is acting up today. Again. I acted on good advice. The child acted out his emotions. My computer is acting up today. Excellent practice. Now let us discuss grammar patterns with these phrasal verbs. Act on is usually followed by a noun. Act on advice. Act on information. Act on feelings. Act out may be followed by emotions, scenes, or stories. Act out anger. Act out frustration. Act out a scene. Act up is often used alone without an object. The machine is acting up. The child is acting up. Now let us understand formal and informal use. Act on is more formal and common in professional English. Act out is common in psychology, teaching, and acting. Act up is very common in casual spoken English. Now let us explore some emotional examples because emotional examples are easier to remember. Act on. She acted on her dream and started her own business. Act out. He acted out his sadness by isolating himself. Act up. My stomach acts up whenever I eat spicy food. Now let us compare all three together in one story. A teacher advised a student to focus on studies. The student acted on the advice and started working harder. However, another student felt ignored and started acting out in class. At the same time, the classroom projector acted up and stopped working properly. In this small story, all three phrasal verbs are used correctly. Now let us discuss some synonyms. Synonyms of act on: follow, implement, respond to, apply. Synonyms of act out: express, perform, demonstrate. Synonyms of act up: misbehave, malfunction, cause trouble. However, phrasal verbs sound more natural in spoken English than formal synonyms. Now let us practice final examples for confidence building. Act on. Never ignore good advice. Act on it quickly. Act out. Children sometimes act out when they feel lonely. Act up. My old car acts up every winter. Now let us do a quick final revision before ending the lecture. Act on means to take action based on advice, information, emotions, or ideas. Act out means to express feelings through behavior or to perform dramatically. Act up means to misbehave or stop functioning properly. These phrasal verbs are extremely useful in daily English speaking. If you practice them regularly, your spoken English will become more natural, confident, and fluent. Try to make your own sentences using these phrasal verbs. Use them in conversations with friends, during English practice, or while writing short paragraphs. The more you use them, the more natural they will become. Thank you so much for watching today's lesson. Keep practicing English every day because consistent practice is the key to fluency. If you enjoyed this lecture, keep supporting the English Nest and continue your journey toward confident English speaking. See you in the next powerful English lesson.